Look around any modern city, and you are looking at one of the most carbon-heavy sectors of human civilization. The buildings we live and work in account for roughly 36 to 39% of global energy-related carbon emissions. When a traditional structure goes up, it creates what researchers call carbon lock-in. Because construction requires intensive materials like concrete and steel, and retrofitting is expensive, the environmental debt of those structural designs persists for decades. To fix this, the real estate industry rallied around a highly celebrated solution: green building certifications. Systems like LEED and BREEAM award plaques to buildings designed to lower emissions and prioritize ecological health. But this bar chart reveals a glaring anomaly. It compares the low projected energy use of certified green buildings against their actual day-to-day utility consumption. Post-occupancy data shows many of these highly rated green properties are actually consuming more energy than standard, uncertified conventional buildings. The disconnect extends to the people inside. Extensive surveys of occupants in these spaces show no statistically significant improvement in satisfaction regarding air quality, acoustics, or thermal comfort compared to regular buildings. When promised efficiency fails to materialize and occupant well-being remains unchanged, it raises a difficult question: whether these certifications are measuring a building's impact or simply rebranding its image. The root of this failure lies in how early certification systems were structured. Historically, they operated as point-based checklists that evaluated the intent of a design before the building was even occupied, rather than tracking its verified operational outcomes. This graph maps the data gap. The flat line represents the optimistic efficiency promised on paper. But in use, hidden waste takes over. Undetected leaks and out-of-hours energy use compound, causing true environmental impact to radically diverge from original projections. This design-focused structure created a behavioral loophole analysts call lead brain. Instead of undertaking expensive, fundamental upgrades to their energy systems, developers became obsessed with chasing easy checklist points. For example, a project could rack up points by adding highly visible solar panels and a patch of green roof. While these look fantastic, they often distract from the fact that the massive concrete structure below remains carbon-heavy. By prioritizing these design additions over verified performance, the industry turned environmental stewardship into a gamified checklist, separating the green certification entirely from real-world thermodynamics. So if these certifications frequently fall short on sustainability, why do developers spend millions to get them? The answer is purely financial. An official green label inflates an asset's worth. Certified developments command over a 20% higher capital value than uncertified peers in major financial hubs. That plaque acts as a magnet for eager ESG investors, those specifically looking to fund environmental, social, and governance initiatives. It also allows property managers to charge a premium on rent, regardless of the building's actual daily emissions. This environment gave rise to specific marketing tactics like green lighting. This is where a developer heavily promotes one single, highly visible, sustainable feature to actively divert a tenant's attention away from poor environmental practices across the rest of the property. To further shield themselves, some construction firms practice green crowding. They join massive industry coalitions to project corporate responsibility, escaping individual scrutiny for failing buildings. By decoupling labels from performance, the industry effectively commodified sustainability, creating a system where the reputation of the firm matters more than the thermodynamic output of the property. However, the era of relying on cosmetic greenwashing is rapidly becoming a legal and financial liability. Substituting genuine ecological work with good PR is no longer a viable long-term strategy for developers. Federal bodies like the U.S. Federal Trade Commission are executing an active crackdown on deceptive marketing. Vague, unsubstantiated claims like eco-friendly are increasingly penalized if they lack hard empirical evidence. To combat checklist loopholes, international bodies are instituting strict new frameworks like the Do No Significant Harm assessment. This standard mandates that the physical construction process itself cannot materially damage local water resources or ecosystems. Modern compliance now demands empirical proof of thermodynamic efficiency. In regions like Japan, building assessments require rigorous life cycle tracking of the carbon dioxide emitted during construction, daily operation, and eventual demolition. This shifts the industry toward a model of continuous environmental auditing.
Instead of a one-time award, buildings are now expected to provide verified daily data on energy consumption and carbon output. We now know that a plaque awarded for a well-drawn blueprint doesn't make a building green. True environmental stewardship is an ongoing, verified commitment, measured not by the promises made on paper, but by the physical realities of the building in use.